What's up, Gaming Rebellion? Before we get into today's topic, we're going to go over this week's gaming news in our new segment, Quick Respawn. Nominees for the Game Awards. Astrobot and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth lead with nominations. Astrobot, developed by Japan Studios' Asobi team, the Astrobot series is celebrated for its innovative use of PlayStation hardware, offering immersive platforming experiences that showcase the capabilities of VR and DualSense controllers. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is the anticipated second installment in the Final Fantasy VII Remake project by Square Enix. Building upon the success of the first part, Rebirth aims to expand the story and world, bringing new gameplay mechanics and deeper character development. Other notable Game of the Year contenders: Bellatro, an indie game that has garnered attention for its unique gameplay and artistic style; Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree, an expansion to the critically acclaimed Elden Ring by From Software, promising to delve deeper into the game's rich lore and challenging gameplay; Metaphor ReFantasio, developed by Atlas, known for the Persona series. This game introduces a new fantasy RPG experience with stylish visuals and deep storytelling. And Black Myth Wukong, an action RPG from Chinese developer Game Science. Inspired by the classic tale Journey to the West, it has impressed audiences with its stunning graphics and dynamic combat system. Indie Game Awards, a ceremony celebrating independent games. The Indie Game Awards have been established to recognize the creativity and innovation found in independent game development, highlighting titles that might not receive attention in mainstream award ceremonies. Notable nominees for Game of the Year are Bellatro, Animal Well, a minimalist exploratory platformer that emphasizes atmosphere and player discovery, and 1000 Times Resist, a narrative-driven game that explores themes of identity and resistance. The special categories are solo development, honoring games created by individual developers, showcasing personal vision and dedication, and bite-sized game, celebrating shorter experiences that provide impactful gameplay in a condensed format. Major acquisitions. Playtika acquires Superplay. Playtika, a mobile gaming company known for its casual games, has expanded its portfolio by acquiring Superplay, aiming to strengthen its position in the market. Triple Dot Studios acquires Zephyr Mobile. This move is part of Triple Dot Studios' strategy to grow its presence in the mobile gaming sector by incorporating Zephyr Mobile's expertise and game library. Industry trends. Shift from mobile to PC gaming. Developers are increasingly focusing on PC gaming due to the saturation of the mobile market and higher user acquisition costs. PC platforms offer opportunities for more complex and immersive gameplay experiences. And market consolidation slowdown. Following a period of rapid acquisitions, particularly in the hyper-casual mobile gaming space, the industry is seeing a slowdown as companies reassess their strategies and the long-term value of such investments. Upcoming releases. For Microsoft's lineup, we have Fable, a reboot of the beloved action RPG series, promising a fresh take while retaining the charm and humor of the originals. Avowed, developed by Obsidian Entertainment, this first-person RPG is set in the world of Aora, offering deep storytelling and immersive gameplay. And Doom: The Dark Ages, a rumored title that could blend the classic Doom gameplay with a medieval setting. Sony's future releases include Death Stranding 2, Hideo Kojima's sequel to the enigmatic Death Stranding, expected to continue its blend of unique storytelling and innovative gameplay mechanics, and Ghost of Yote, potentially a follow-up of Ghost of Tsushima. This title could explore new settings and narratives within a similar historical context. Indie Game Spotlight. Rising interest in the indie game titles like Bellatro, Neva, and Astrobot are gaining attention for their originality and engaging gameplay, indicating a growing audience for indie games. Unconventional genre hybrids would include Cocoon, a game that combines puzzle solving with exploration, offering a unique and atmospheric experience, and Pacific Drive, blending driving simulation with survival elements. It provides a fresh take on both genres. And that's it for this week's Quick Respawn. Yo, what's up, Gaming Rebellion? My name is Dirac, and I'm here with Isaiah.
What's good?
Today we were talking about Sony's potential acquisition of Kadokawa, the parent company of From Software Games.
Yeah, Sony is reportedly looking to acquire Kadokawa. Now, this is the parent company of From Software. Sony's a huge corporation. They own, they have Sony Interactive, that's the gaming front. They have Sony Music. They have Sony Pictures. You may or may not know Sony owns Crunchyroll if you're into anime. Sony's huge. So they're now trying to acquire Kadokawa, which most of you may know them because of From Software, which is, that's Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Dark Souls.
Yep.
So we want to examine what are the implications of this. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I hate this. Straight up, I just hate this so much. Like, everybody who's wanted Bloodborne to come to PC and be higher than 30 FPS, you should be upset, because now if this happens and now FromSoft is now required to be on PlayStation exclusively, which, to be honest, that's probably what the goal is here, right? They don't want sales on PC and Steam anymore.
Especially considering that now that supposedly the console wars are over, you still have Nintendo, but you don't. If being that Xbox is technically out of the running, you're not going to find another console, at least right now, that forms in the same way that the Sony PlayStation does. So,
and mind you, this is hot off the heels of the Helldivers 2 fiasco.
Oh my god, yes.
You didn't need a PlayStation Network account to play the game on PC. So people from, I think it was over 100 something countries, like I want to say almost 200 countries, that were able to buy the game. And then all of a sudden PlayStation was like, you know what? No, now you need a PlayStation account in order to log in and play this game. And now all of a sudden, 100 plus countries, people in these countries can no longer play the game. I really I'm sure some of you are saying, oh, just make a PlayStation account or whatever. Like, for people in those countries, you just can't. But for us, you can. Some of us are kind of tired of having to log in and having to have all these launchers and everything. That's why Steam was cool, because it was just one place that you can just have everything. And I never even log into. I don't even know my Steam password. That I just turn my computer on and it starts.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah.
So I could just log in. I could just open up everything that I want on there, which is very convenient. Whereas now, PlayStation wants in on that. They want to be able to collect your data and stuff. So they want you to use their service. So they haven't. Again, this is all reported. This is alleged. Nothing is. I don't think we've heard anything from Sony yet regarding this. I don't even know. I was going to say, I don't even know how much this acquisition would go for, but again, Sony's so huge, I don't think it matters to them.
Right.
This would be a big pickup for them, though.
Yes, it would. It really would. And to be honest, trying to look at it from their perspective, seeing that as they're going to be the only home console, at least for the time being, as people, advance into the next era, trying to get more advanced games and visuals and all that stuff. PlayStation is it right now. So for them, if they're looking to make more sales and they want to maximize on this market, it would be a smart move for them in theory, because the Souls-like genre is so popular, and what better than to get like the mother of this genre. You get all the games that come with it, with Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Elden Ring. But I know Sony hasn't had the best track record when it came to acquiring some of these titles and trying to make their developers either improve on it or make a sequel or something, and make it as wildly successful as its prequels. So I'm thinking that at some point they're probably gonna ruin of course, I'm just speculating, they're gonna ruin the series, because if they take this on, they're gonna make From Software make another title whether it's the next installment for Elden Ring or whatever the case. But they want something that they can slap their name all over and be like, yep, this is ours. And in one article I found, they did claim that they're going to try to keep it. Not that they're going to try to keep it. They said that they're going to keep it cross-platform, but you and I both know it's not going to stay like that, because again, they have the console. They don't want to give you a reason to go anywhere else to be like, no, you want this game, you're going to come to us. So at some point they're going to say, oh, well, we would do it like this so that you can play on PC, but we haven't finished making the PC port yet. So in the meantime, you can play it on the PlayStation.
Exactly. You could say you're making it cross console, but it's just, the PC port just takes later to come out, or the PC port sucks, and you might as well just get it on PlayStation to begin with.
Right.
And another really big part about this too is it is anime. Kadokawa has quite a bit of anime under the belt, and Sony has acquired Crunchyroll already, so this could this would be better for them in upping what they're able to list on their website and whatnot. They have some pretty big ones on there, like Your Name. I didn't realize, but Your Name is an anime movie. Really good. Probably one of the best anime movies I've ever seen.
I remember that one.
Yeah, it was really good. Currently I watch ReZero. That's Kadokawa. So being able to get all these under their belt and not have to pay these licensing fees and whatnot will help strengthen their position against Netflix. And even though I don't even think Netflix is trying to compete in anime anymore. I think they were at one point, but they've kind of given up on that, it feels like.
It kind of seemed like it was a losing game to them, so like they started making their own anime, which, I mean, some of them are good, but I've never really cared to really indulge.
So the problem with Netflix anime is they'll start and they won't finish. Like, I mean, I don't even know if that's a problem with Netflix anime. I think that's a common complaint with Netflix in general, is that they love to start things and then you get season 2, but it's like, yo, where's season 3 at, bro? Like, is this ever gonna come out? It's been what was the show I was watching? It was it was a space anime. I forget the name. But they when they finally came out with season 2, it was like, okay, cool. Where's season 3? And it's been like 6 years now. Like, it doesn't take this long. I'm sorry. So I don't trust Netflix when it comes to anime, but I think this helps solidify Crunchyroll as the place to go to for anime if you're not pirating.
Right.
But yeah. Is this good for the consumer?
I mean, if you're a Sony head, then sure. I mean, if you don't mind that, or you just like the convenience of having a home console where you can just you can play all your favorite titles, or most of your favorite titles. You don't care about the Xbox exclusives or any Nintendo exclusive, or you have those as well. But like, if Sony's just like your main thing, then I don't think it would like affect the consumer too much. That's only if they were able to acquire enough assets that they wouldn't have to increase the price of their games or their services and whatnot.
Okay, but, let's stop, because when Funimation and Crunchyroll merged together, they said we're increasing the price. Right? Like, yeah. That's what I don't like about this, is the fact that as we create this monopoly, where else are you gonna go?
No, yeah.
Legally, where else are you gonna go?
That's literally what this is gonna become. It's gonna become a monopoly, because they're gonna have the home console market on lock. And I would only hope that legally someone will step in and be like, yeah, you can't do that. But Sony's not based in America. So just like how Google right now, they're in hot water because they said they monopolize the search engine market, and now they're trying to make them break up their assets. I would hope that someone could step in and do the same for Sony if they were to become too big. But even if that were the case, someone were eventually to come and do that, can you imagine how long that would take? I mean, Google's been doing their thing since like the time we were kids, but not
Right.
that it was much of a thing back then, because like the internet was, although it had already been invented, the whole
It's pretty
search
niche.
thing- yeah, it's very specific, and Sony has their hands in a lot of markets. So I just
And that's the thing. In Japan, they just have. I think they're more comfortable with monopolies than we are. They have very, very big conglomerates over there. I think it's like Tony, Toshiba. Like they're in. They're all over the place. I can't just say they, because now we've gotten to that point too, where Microsoft is involved in everything, Google's involved in
Yeah.
everything, Amazon's involved in everything. Right? They're not just. It's not just a bookstore anymore. But I don't. I worry about what this means for the industry, because it's just consolidating power, basically.
No, that's exactly what it is. And then they
Yeah.
can choose to gatekeep, because who's going to stop them? And then the only other thing that could like compete with that would be if other companies try to do what Sony's doing in the console market. Like if I know I've heard whisperings of home consoles from other companies. I don't know specifically which ones, because I know with like Nvidia they were trying to do the handheld, and some other companies trying to do handheld systems. But if another company came and decided to do their own home console thing, they would need to be able to compete with Sony. But if they've monopolized enough of the market that they can control what games they hold and what games other consoles are allowed to have, then there's really no point.
And breaking into the home console market is not easy. Like Microsoft
Right.
is giving up. Microsoft, the $3 trillion
Right.
company, is giving up.
Right.
Google has tried their hand at it as well, right? Like, and if these companies can't get it right, it just makes this ripe for being a monopoly.
Right.
I don't, as much as I dislike Microsoft and I dislike Xbox, we need more competition in this space. Unfortunately, Microsoft was really, really greedy about everything. I'm not entirely sure why Google Stadia failed as hard as it did. I feel like it was a good concept. They just didn't execute.
Yeah, I actually I considered buying the Stadia for a very long time, because I thought it was an excellent idea. Being that at the time they announced it, my PC, although it could handle a lot, it wasn't great. And with the Stadia, they explained that the computing process would come from their own servers and their graphics cards, and you were basically just streaming it to your TV. And I thought that's pretty cool, because as long as you had a decent internet connection, you could pretty much play anything you wanted. I thought that was an awesome idea. But a lot of people argue that the reason the Stadia didn't do as well as expected was because it was ahead of its time, because it wasn't something that people were really like looking for or asking for. And it was like during the peak of when Xbox and PlayStation were really going at it. So it was more of just like, are you an Xbox person or are you a PlayStation person? Stadia was kind of like its own thing. And I don't know if it had access to any real exclusives from their wheelhouse or what have you. So I think it was just overshadowed by the console wars. I think
can you see another
like a
console
resurgence
making it in, another company creating one?
I can definitely see another company, and I will say that another technology, well, the same technology that Stadia was using was that cloud-based technology.
Correct.
Because that's always something that people have had trouble. Well, I can't say people, because really mainly me, because it costs money to buy new parts for your computer, upgrade them on a regular basis just to make sure they keep up with a lot of the latest games today. And these companies like to put so much emphasis on the visuals of games, something that I really don't care about. As long as I can like get a clear picture of what I'm looking at or what my objective is, I don't really care about how, I don't want to say how visually appealing or visually aesthetic it is, because I do like aesthetic, but like I don't need it to be realistic. Like it's a cool niche kind of thing in my opinion, but as long as it looks good and I can see what I'm doing, like that's all I needed. But when you look at that and you have games that come out where they don't necessarily need that high level of computing power, but they'll read your system and be like, oh, you definitely can't play it with what you have now. You have to buy a graphics card that's either this or above. Regardless of whether or not like it could actually run it, it just chooses not to, is like BS to me. But now you have cloud gaming services that will do the computing for you, but the only thing is they're subscription-based services. I think that if they were to make a home console very similar to the Stadia, or they give some kind of physical hardware that you could say, oh, look, I have this thing that can play games or whatever, it could change the market because you don't necessarily have to buy new parts anymore. Technically, you're paying for the system itself, and you might, depending on what kind of payment model they want to go with as far as acquiring the games, maybe a renting model, or if you buy the games themselves, you could play it anywhere. You could just, as long as you're able to attach to the TV, which was another thing I thought was awesome about the Stadia. You plug it to any TV, you could play any game you want. And I thought that was awesome because if I like had to travel, or if my parents said, oh, we're going to, I don't know, if we were going to Colorado next week or whatever, and I couldn't bring my game console with me, it's like, but I just bought this game, I really wanted to play it, I'm not going to be able to play it because I can't take this on the plane with me. I could just take this little piece of hardware that connects to a TV and I could play from there. And I thought that was a brilliant concept. But I think if they were to come out with a home console that did something very similar to that, that could kind of upend what Sony is capable of doing. But knowing them, they're going to attack that like very heavy to stay focused, to stay current, I guess.
Relevant. Yeah.
Relevant.
So the reason why I wasn't really down for the Stadia initially, and this could just be due to my own ignorance, was I just assumed if I have my computer plugged into the internet and there are games that I can lag in, if I'm relying on a server to do the computing power and then bring, like the lag, the potential for lag is just greater there, is what I just assumed. I don't know how FPS games work or anything like that, and that's what I was playing back then when Stadia was around. So I didn't even I didn't even consider it an option at the time. Now, I could have been completely wrong about this, and it didn't lag whatsoever. It could have been better than a real computer, but that idea of it lagging just drew me away from it. I mean, I'll pay, $2,000 for a computer. Maybe at the prices today, it's probably going to be more for a computer, just to make sure I don't have those issues and that I can game effectively. So, paying this monthly subscription for something that I will lag in was like, no, I'm good. I'm good on that. I'd rather just, have my own.
No, you're right. You're right, though, because that was another argument that a lot of people had with the cloud gaming thing. Is just like, if my internet can't handle it, is there a point? Because I'm the same way. If my game's just gonna lag anyway, I'd rather just hold off on it, or like I won't even play the game, because I've done that in the past too, where I get really excited about a game and my computer can't handle it. Like, I'd just rather not play the game because it's too frustrating. Like when Pokemon Go came out, I literally bought a new phone because I knew the one that I had would not be able to handle it.
Exactly.
Even the new phone I bought couldn't handle it, and I was so pissed. But now technology has like improved enough that I don't have to worry about that anymore, about that lag. But yeah, lag is such like a mood killer. So yeah, that's completely understandable and relatable. But,
if they could fix the lag issue, then it'd be great. Now, a company I think that should not be slept on is Facebook or Meta when it comes to gaming. They
Yes.
are looking very much in the VR space, and I think that is the thing is that gaming hasn't really had too much innovation, I would say. I mean, what do we, when we went from 2D to 3D, that was crazy.
Yes.
Right. Like that was huge.
It's literally game changing.
Yeah. Whole new mechanics can be done and everything. And now every year is just like, the processor's a little bit better. Graphic cards out, look at the graphics. It's like, the graphics have been cool since like PS3. I'm not gonna say there's been no difference, but the difference is so minimal that it doesn't make me. I don't get it. PS4 to PS5 was not very exciting for me. I can't even. PS6 is gonna be like, who cares?
Right.
So, but I think Meta going in this other direction with VR and really exploring that space. I think that is that's probably where we're gonna see the next innovation with gaming. Between, there's VR, and then I think if we didn't go graphically, it would be with AI. Having more unique experiences tailored to the way you play. The things that you can just imagine with AI is just like, I'm sure we all have a different idea of what this is going to look like.
Right.
But
yeah, I think that's part of the beauty of it, though, because you know that we have the potential of so much innovation with AI, like in general, and we've seen how Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo actually have tried to incorporate their own version of virtual reality. With Nintendo, it was the Wii, using the Wiimotes to like control the characters and whatnot. That was awesome. And then PlayStation did a similar thing, but apparently they did it better from what I understand. I don't know, I never played with the wands with the PlayStation. And then with Xbox they had the Kinect, where it looks at you and can track your movements as you move. But now we're looking at Meta, and we have the virtual reality. I have one too, the Oculus 3 I think it is, and it's amazing what you can do with it, because the other thing I know Nintendo was trying to do when they had the Wii was to get people to be more active, as opposed to just like sitting on the couch and playing video games. And with the virtual reality helmet, it does just that. It gets you to move. Of course, there are some games that are directed more towards being more physical, and other games that are just like you just play through the story. Like if you're playing one of the Star Wars games, like on my thing, I have like every Star Wars game on my Oculus, because I love being able to use a lightsaber to just like go crazy. But
yeah,
it also you get to basically bring your imaginations to life through the technology that the Oculus brings you. And of course, not just the Oculus, but any kind of virtual reality helmet. I know there are others out there, just none that I care to look at, because I have this and it's fine the way it is. It's like, what, $300 last I checked, which is significantly less than you'd get from buying PlayStation or any of the other home consoles. But if they were to find a way to incorporate AI in such a way that they can innovate and make something amazing that could really stick in the minds of populace to really rally behind, they could quite literally change the game. I would love to see what they're able to come up with. But
and I think that's what we need someone to change the game, because the game's been stale. I think that's why Xbox is leaving. It's just been a little too stale the past couple of generations. PS2 was the best-selling console of all time, and it's crazy because gaming has only grown faster and faster and faster. But more people owned a PS2 than a PS3, PS4, I don't even know if PS5 is even on the list of like top 10. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm not sure. I kind of want to look that up. Top 10 consoles of all time. Because it doesn't offer.
It doesn't offer much of anything. Like PlayStation 5, like they focus on like the graphics, I think, and it has more memory than the previous one. And it's like, all right, that's cool. What else? Like all you have to offer are more games, a better controller, maybe a controller that's more ergonomic or whatever you're like aiming for. But that's not innovation. You're just improving on what's already been established. But like you said you're looking for like the top 10 consoles. The first console that comes to mind is Nintendo GameCube, or honestly any of the Nintendos. They've always been known for a strong level of innovation, and innovation is something that becomes I was gonna say recession proof, but that's not accurate. It's better to say that they protect themselves from falling to the typical trends that would typically kill a console in their space. Because say what you will about the Nintendo Switch, like you're not going to find another system that's quite like that besides.
When
like,
you say what you will, you're saying say what you will about the third best selling console of all time. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, what's the top two?
Top two, we have PS2 and Nintendo DS. Look, PS2 again, PS2, Nintendo DS, Nintendo Switch. Like these things were just game changing.
In their time.
Yeah, Nintendo. You look at PS5, Xbox. I mean, actually, Nintendo Switch came out in the PS4 era. No, I think they're a little desynced. Actually, I think PS4 came out in 2013. Nintendo Switch came out in 2017.
Yeah, I think they skipped a console cycle after the Wii U.
Yeah, that's like the only Nintendo system I don't own.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, but the point is that they were game changing. Number 4 is the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. Like, having a handheld and then having it in color. They sold 118 million copies. PS2 155 million copies, and the closest thing was the Nintendo DS, which 1 million more copies and it would have surpassed it, but it didn't quite hit that.
Gotcha.
But I can't see anything else. PS5. Let me see. Where's PS5? 1, 2, 3. Is number 13 on the list?
I was about to say it's not the top 10.
Yeah, it's 65 million versus PS2 was 155 million. And again, this is in a time when PS5 gaming is way bigger in PS5's lifetime than it was in the PS2. Back in the PS2 time, I don't know if gaming was really as mainstream, if we can consider gaming as mainstream as it is today.
Right.
Now one of the advantages PS2 had, it did come with a DVD player, which was
that was game changing.
Yeah. But it's like, what are these other consoles and companies? What are they offering instead of just more memory, more graphics?
Right.
I think at the point we're just like at buying an iPhone 15 from the iPhone 16. Like who cares?
Right. Because that's the other thing. It's just like a lot of the phones have the computing power to do like a lot of what they do. Of course, they're not necessarily playing the same exact games that you're gonna find on the home console, because they're limited in their computing power. But if you're looking for like visuals and stuff, like the phones can do it too. But it's funny how something as simple. I love how you brought up the whole DVD player thing with the PlayStation 2, because that's honestly what really put them over the edge. Because I remember back then, people bought DVD players, but it was annoying for them to have to get the Blu-ray and then also get the game console. Because if I remember correctly, Blu-ray players started coming out around the same time, and they took the PlayStation 2 and say, hey, this does both. Like, that was ingenious.
DVD, not Blu-ray.
DVD.
Blu-ray was
I'm sorry,
like PS3.
that was PlayStation 3, yeah. But that whole concept was like ingenious, as simplistic as it was. Like you see the numbers right there, but
and DVD players were expensive.
Yes,
this was like this was a great 2-for-1 deal.
Right. It was really, really, really smart that they went that direction. But now you have the PlayStation 5, and it's like, all right, what are you promising? And the parts are only going to get more expensive. So you could argue that part of the reason PlayStation 5 isn't hitting some of those numbers is because of the pricing and our current economic issues that we're dealing with right now. But still, even if that weren't the case, if the PlayStation 5 was still the same price.
Before you say that,
Oh,
I just want to mention
okay.
the crash of 2000, the same year that PS2 came out.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I want to say.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say too. I was gonna say, like, if it was still the same price it was now, would it really affect its sales if they were to do something more innovative that like drew people to it? Because right there is a perfect example. Despite the fact of despite the crash of 2000, like PlayStation 2 still hit those sales, but PlayStation's not even making what seems like a fraction of it. I mean, it's number 13 on the list. It's still considered new-ish. So I'm sure their
It's
sales
number
are gonna
13, and number 14 is the Nintendo. So, like the original NES.
No, it's doomed.
It's not that good. And, to be fair to PlayStation, at least they're not Xbox, because Xbox isn't even on the list so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hold on. PlayStation 5 was 13. Xbox is under Nintendo. It's number 15.
Okay. Oof.
The Xbox One.
Okay.
So
the 360 was pretty good until they started trying to charge me for everything.
Oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. You're right. 360 is ahead of 13. It's number 9 on the list all time. Sorry.
No, it's fair, I guess. 9 cents. I think that's a good number for the 360. But yeah, it just goes to show you that the gaming market is becoming stale. I think Microsoft was probably smart to make the decision to drop out of the console wars because they're looking towards the future. They're seeing that it's the market itself might not be as lucrative as it used to be, or they just feel like they don't have the same level of innovation as they previously had to really put it over the top. So they're shifting their focus to something that makes sense. So if Sony wants to dominate the market, that's on them. But if they really intend to make back on their returns, to really keep it a lucrative market, they have to be more innovative. But right now, it's clear that they're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over. For how long, I don't know. Hopefully, for them, at least, by the time PlayStation 6 comes out, or if they decide to make another handheld, they might learn from that type of mistake, or they'll become less stagnant. But, well, I guess
I'm rooting for Facebook or Meta because, I mean, they're investing so much money into this. And the thing is like the investors hate Zuckerberg for this. They hate the fact that he's spending all his money so invested into the metaverse. It's like, these wacky ideas, but who else can do that but somebody with so much money?
Right.
So I think it could. I'm hoping that it ends up being a net positive, and I think we will see that happen as we see, hand tracking is becoming a lot better.
Yes.
On for VR, I think when they can get that down, it's gonna take off. It's gonna end up that and getting the battery life isn't very good, but I think if you make it more so like it's a home console thing and you're plugged in or whatever, and move away from, this is me personally talking. I think that the movement and stuff in VR is really cool, but I think it's more niche. I think that if you want to end up hitting mainstream, you're gonna have to, I think having the sit down and play the game is what's gonna make it hit mainstream a lot faster. Right. So improving on that. I have very, very high hopes for VR being the next frontier for gaming.
No, I agree with you there. Maybe they can adapt a meta controller so you don't necessarily have to use the handheld controllers, so that you can actually just like focus on the game itself. But I guess we'll see with that. I assume I don't know what you know about the whole metaverse thing, but it kind of falls in line with the whole thing with cryptocurrency. I was actually kind of curious to see if maybe what Zuckerberg is trying to do is he's trying to establish this whole metaverse thing where they can transfer over the whole concept of cryptocurrency into that world, basically creating a second, I don't know, I'm just speculating. My mind is just does that.
Yeah, I don't know how much it has to do with cryptocurrency. I think the metaverse is basically creating, your own virtual world. Which basically that's what an MMO is, right?
Yeah.
Is your own virtual world.
Yeah.
But creating one that enough people are on, like Facebook, is
Right.
You can almost consider it a type of metaverse. There's a lot of people on there, and they have uploading pictures and things like that,
Right.
and having their own life,
Right.
uploading their real lives onto there. Whereas
Yeah.
in the metaverse, it's more about you establishing your life there.
Right.
Only I hear about people buying property on the
I was just about to
metaverse and
say
things
that,
like
yeah.
that, which is it's kind of wild. But you also got to think about, I remember, I think when I was in my early 20s, I was telling my dad about online dating, and he was telling me how crazy that was. And now it's like kind of crazy not to meet people online.
Right.
It's just so common nowadays. Like if you say, you met on Tinder or wherever, people don't even question it.
Right.
Whereas, what's going to happen in the next 10 years
Right.
regarding some of this stuff.
It's exciting to see where like the future's heading, and again with AI being implemented in more technologies and whatnot, like the possibilities are endless. And I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what comes of it. I know a lot of people are scared of AI technology, but everyone's always scared of new things that are implemented in our universe and whatnot. So it's only a matter of time before people start to like fully understand the implications that come with it and what those things have to offer. It's just a matter of how you use it. But
how you use it, exactly.
Yeah.
Being smart enough to, excuse me, I'm sure painters were very scared of Photoshop and whatever, or photographers even. But now you have people that have built their industries off of the Adobe suites.
Right.
Now you might have to, instead of learning Adobe, you might have to learn ChatGPT or Claude, whatever the new whatever emerges as the best AI.
Yeah, with their prompt engineering and whatnot. Although some people say, "Oh, prompt engineering is dead. It's so intuitive, it does it for you." I'm like, I don't know about that, but I mean, it's definitely advancing at a pretty quick pace. But yeah, it's just a matter of learning the new system. That's really what it boils down to. But yeah. I am very much looking forward to see what the future has to offer with that, and maybe Sony will learn something from that, or develop something using AI. I don't know what they'll plan to do, but if they monopolize the market, they could pretty much do what they want. But we'll see how.
Yeah, that's
long
what
that
Sony
lasts.
was very good at before. Was the Walkman. They were the ones who were innovating. They were doing the new things
Right.
before. Now we've gotten to the point. I guess you get to this too big to succeed point where, excuse me, you just have to. Your goal is to acquire companies that are doing things, and instead of you doing the innovating yourself, it's you have other people. They take the risk. They do the things that draw the audience in, and then you just acquire them and leech off their success.
Right.
So I kind of hope we can get away from that. I really dislike this whole acquiring Kadokawa. Going back to the main topic thing. Kadokawa's been doing really good, and they're a fairly big company in and of themselves. They make some of my favorite games. They make some of my favorite anime. And I would really hate to see that go down the drain.
Yeah. But there's definitely potential there if they were to actually acquire them. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Right now it's just talks, so hopefully that's how it'll stay, just talks.
Yeah. Copium.
Yep. But you had anything else to add?
No, that's about it for this one, man.
All right. Well, you guys let us know how you feel about this potential acquiring of Kadokawa, their anime and their gaming industry with Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and all those fun Souls-like titles. And let us know your thoughts. That'll do it for this one, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace out.
Peace. Well, that about wraps it up for today's episode, Rebels. Don't forget to subscribe and stay informed on all things gaming. We've got some exciting projects coming up, so you won't want to miss what's next. We'd like to thank you again for tuning in and joining the rebellion. Until next time, happy gaming.